it's based on the ISO 55000 set of standards, but it provides industry specific guidance. So it really, I think, will help considerably with the digital transformation. It's going to become so critical, I think, as we do this. The nice thing with like the BIMstorm model that you had there, since some of these or most of these facilities will be remote, and you'll have to have a centralized person probably looking at multiple facilities, they could basically view any of these assets, the process, where is the drug in the process. They could see all of that real time, live, through these information models that are developed through BIM. And with the information being transferred back and forth between BIM and the CMMS and the other systems, process control systems, building management systems, things like that, you now have everybody looking at the same information. And that's again where ISO 55000 comes in, where by having the framework and having a model that's consistent that you can use across multiple locations, I think that's really going to help this whole digital transformation, immensely. Some of the things that different organizations like the International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering is doing, they've developed a good practice guide. Back in October 2015, a proposal was submitted to their guidance document committee to develop a pharma-specific good practice guide that was based on ISO 55000, the set of standards and the principles and other asset management good practices. That was approved, and then in November of last year, 2019, they actually published the ISPE Good Practice Guide for Asset Management. Again, it provides industry best practices and really kind of explains how pharma can take advantage of the ISO 55000 requirements and interpret it basically into what pharma needs for their highly regulated industry. The objective is to help asset owners derive more value from their assets by using both the ISPE Asset Management Guide and the ISO 55001 framework to develop, the integrated digital delivery model to help pharmaceutical organizations with this digital transformation.
So what I'd like to talk to you today as I share my screen is to talk to you about starting with clean data and utilizing data as a way to start the whole programming process, the schematic design process, design development, all the way through construction documents, contract administration, and post-occupancy for facility management. These are all different steps in creating an ISO 55000 environment where you minimize the different inputs of the same data so that the data remains clean and normalized.
What Pharma 4.0 does is it attempts to set a framework for how we do the digitization, achieve digital maturity within a highly regulated environment such as the pharmaceutical industry. Okay. On the right-hand side here, you'll see a graphic that really kind of outlines what the group is about. I'm not going to read the mission statement and whatnot, but I'll go through the diagram itself. So we're starting with a good basis of data integrity. We want to make sure that all of our information going in is complete and accurate, garbage in, garbage out type stuff. We then have 4 quadrants that we work within. Resourcing, so digitization, workforce of the future is a big part of this. As we move forward, we're going to have to train the workforce to be able to work within this paradigm. Information systems, so holistic control strategies. How do we get all these different systems to talk to each other? And I'll give an example of that in just a few minutes. Culturally, culturally from top to bottom, how do we get the CEO and the manufacturing technician all seeing the same data, all being able to make the same data-driven decisions? And then organization and processes. While ISO 55000, I think, covers a lot of this, this is kind of its main focus here in lifecycle management and a holistic control strategy. As you set your foundation of data integrity and you can achieve maturity in these 4 quadrants, this is the point in which you reach this digital maturity, right? The FDA is a part of Health and Human Services. So as it becomes more prevalent within the federal government, now the FDA, when they're going in on their regulatory inspections, are asking about ISO 55000 elements. They're asking about asset management systems. Many clients that we work with, some of them won't do anything until they deprioritize things but if a regulator asks about it, they will move mountains to make it happen. So a lot of the efforts the Asset Leadership Network is doing from the federal level is actually going to help bring the industry further into the future, which I'm excited about.